To Joe's Astrology. This is the birth chart for Adam Sandler, and he is a Cancer moon, Sun in Virgo. We don't have the birth time for him, so this is not the houses. South Node Scorpio with Neptune. And this is a very interesting chart because this is not what, if you watch if you watch a lot of these videos, I'm really just picking these people at random. And this guy does not have a chart that looks like most people. In fact, it looks kind of like my chart in some ways because I have Neptune South Node, and we see a lot of North Node emphasis. And here there's nothing on the North Node, and there's Neptune on the South Node, almost exact. And you would think that's not, he's an actor. That doesn't make sense. He's very successful. But this is a guy that's different from most actors. He's a very likable guy. If you remember where he started, Billy Madison, at least from my memory, Billy Madison, Happy Gilmore. These movies they're comedies. He's like a blue collar guy. A lot of his movies talk about they're involved with he's a blue collar person. And with that Neptune on the South Node, you think of this is a guy who feels like he's stuck, and that's kind of like what you see from his movies. And he turned it around. He turned it around and became this successful actor using that. Now I'm going to get into there's more to his chart that shows that indication of being successful as well. But just to look at that and show you how that works, it's not always the North Node that can be successful. So if you have South Node contacts, you can still be successful. It's just not going to be in the same way. As I mentioned, comedy, he's got Mars and Leo. And that Mars and Leo we don't really know where the moon is, but it's probably making a semi-sextile to this moon. He could be a moon in Gemini. I'm just going to say he's a moon in Cancer. Because he is a likable guy, and he's got all his movies have that story at the end, that good feel. So he's all about the feelings and the emotions, and his movies have these good endings, these heartfelt endings. But Neptune also can be the actor. So we see the South Node, Neptune, and the comedy, the performer, Pisces. He does have Saturn in Pisces as well, making a trine. And it's retrograde, which kind of points to Uranus. So he's a little bit unusual too. He's definitely unique. There hasn't been anyone else like him, as far as I can tell. And he has Jupiter in Cancer, where it likes to be, in a trine to that Saturn as well. So there's a grand trine in water. And let's look at what else is going on with those nodes that's pointing to him maybe being successful. And we can see he's got this stellium in Virgo, Venus, Mercury, Sun, Pluto, Uranus, and all of that is making a trine to the North Node in Taurus and a sextile to the South Node. So this is where we see maybe the emphasis on money, making money, and being successful with that trine there to the North Node. So it's not the same as conjunction to the North Node, but it's similar. So if you have these planets trining or sextiling the nodes. And with Virgo, interesting, that movie Happy Gilmore, you think of golf as being a Virgo sport. And that was one of his first movies where he was a hockey player, but most of the movie was about golf. And with all that Virgo stuff, this is a guy who's probably contributed to producing his movies because he can pay attention to detail and probably has a good eye for detail. Could say he's definitely a thinker and a guy who can analyze here, and he also has that Venus and Mercury in Virgo. Mercury rules Virgo, and then we also have the um, Moon possibly making a sextile and a trine to the nodes as well. It's a very likable guy. You can see all of these things except for the Mars with the exception of Mars in Leo. This is a very likable guy because people like Virgo, Cancer, Pisces energy. This would be a humble person. He comes across as very humble even to this day after all of his movies. If you see some clips of him, he's the same. He seems like he's the same person from day one. Nothing's changed. And people like that about him. You could see the Mars and Leo too. He does test the boundaries when it comes to comedy. Maybe he is a little bit Mars like in that sense. It's not pure comedy. He's got the Pluto's exactly trining that north node. So not a guy that goes with that not being pure comedy, not afraid to go into the shadows of life, the dark side of life and making fun of it. And that I'm going to leave it there. That is Adam Sandler. Hope you enjoyed this astrological breakdown of Adam Sandler and hope you have a great day.